The deeper surveillance police will remember that I don't want to discuss um, the strategy of Robert Fripp on this level because I don't think I gain anything by hypotheticals regarding the idea that they're telling the truth about Lenin still being exonerating of me. In other words, I prefer to be exonerated by the truth, not the script. So, with that caveat, I will nevertheless, for the sake of those who don't have the veracity to look at the script for what it is, but who don't wish me any harm, I will try to answer the question, does the evidence, does it matter whether Lenin lived or died? Whether he pulled a Houdini, as is clear, or whether he actually was done in terms of the psychological ramifications of the way that the production house of Geffen Records used espionage and production to stage the crime. Doesn't matter whether his execution by the Israelis took place or whether he was a fabrication martyr for their purposes that was endorsed by the Crown, which is what they alibi. They alibi that I deserved what was done to me, and so they had the right to support the people who they claim killed John Lennon. I guess they say he didn't deserve it, but we support them anyway. And this hinged on the idea that any normal boyfriend who was lapping with cunnilingus at the naked needs of his girlfriend night after night for hours in passion, but denied penetration by shying off coyness, which he honored, would have a devil and an angel on either side of his head. One saying, do you or don't you want me to make you, which is the helter-skelter framework of the way Paul McCartney advocated for this action. And of course, we know that they knew that the virginity did not prove the devil was winning. And we know that because they gave me a hottie. They didn't tell me this is a contract of alibi for the AIDS attack. You might say, well, you should have been able to read that from the circumstances. The reason that isn't true is because there was an element of normal conduct that was being reviewed. So, of course, I knew that she didn't want me to make her, but she said, why should you get another chance? And that's what led me to write a letter scolding her for what seemed to me rape incitement. And she used to go out in the woods yelling, gonna rape, kill, pillage, burn, and eat babies. She was a classic Zionist, in other words. And Robert Fripp and Yoko Ono and Peter Gabriel all took her side, saying they had the right to castrate me, torture me into Parkinson's because of this framework where Robert Fripp holds his nose and drops his pick and says, aha, I detected do you, don't you want me to make you reflex or something. which they called +1 for injecting you. And this complicated psychological operation was all encrypted with numerology online. They were all ready to make it roll. You could see that in the old system of Dewey Decimals that Carnegie Mellon's Hunt Library used in classifying books, that the war game was all pre-planned and premeditated, which is the reason why I know that John Lennon didn't just happen to go out that night, that he was in on it, and that they pulled a fast one, which was planned for a very, very long time. The evidence that the script of Gail Burson traces back to Fayoum of 1919, the age of Ouspensky and Houdini, the great dictators, and D.W. Griffith, is irrefutable. All of the super story that she refers to in the script plays out in the research and the theories of Ouspensky and Blige Sanders concerning literature, cinema, and the fourth dimensional psychology that was at work. So what they say is you're still responsible for his. You cheated the fans by not stopping him. Okay. So what they say is that they know I had nothing to do with that. I would not have bothered John Lennon. He wasn't in my interest frame. I might have, if I happened to cross him, said, "Hi, Mr. Lennon, can I have your autograph?" I might have. I had Zappa's autograph, Mick Ronson's autograph, but he wasn't like, I liked him. He was okay. But I would, everybody knows that the joke is on you. When Obama leaves a sticker with lipstick on a pig saying the joke is on you outside the library where they pulled the production system of Rosa writing an alibi for the proof that AIDS was an attack that was issued on Mount Desert Island. Their cover-up was because they knew that I would never have hurt Leslie or hurt John Lennon. So they say that the helter-skelter psychology that was impinged on the persona automatically made me guilty of John Lennon's murder, who they claim their partners killed. And so therefore their partners are innocent. I mean, that's the whole cock and bull story in a rigmarole wrapped around the fandango Mobius of trivialization psychology. Because what they want to do is make good on the adage, one man's death is a tragedy, a million deaths is a statistic. And we're seeing that play out now in Gaza, where they're going to upload John Lennon and say he's the magnificent one. These other people are just ephemerals. They just come and go.